You need to feel bored. And I know what you're thinking right now. This guy is telling me to be bored? Has he completely lost his mind? But hear me out, because what I'm about to tell you might be the most counterintuitive, genuinely important thing you'll hear this year. We are living in the most stimulated period in human history. Every single second of every single day, there is something, a notification, a reel, a podcast, a news alert, designed specifically, algorithmically, intentionally, to make sure you never have to sit alone with your thoughts. Never. Not for a single minute. And we think that's progress. It's not progress. It's a crisis. And I'm going to explain exactly why. Here's what's actually happening in your brain. When you get bored, truly uncomfortably bored, your brain doesn't shut off. It shifts gears. It activates what neuroscientists call the default mode network. Now, that sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, but it's not complicated. It's simply the part of your brain that turns on when you stop feeding yourself external input. Think about the last time you forgot your phone somewhere. Maybe you were in the shower or sitting in a waiting room with absolutely nothing to do. That slightly uncomfortable, restless, what do I even do with my hands feeling? That's your default mode network firing up. And here's the thing, your brain hates it. Most people hate it so much they'll do almost anything to avoid it. But here's what your brain is actually doing during those moments. It's processing. It's connecting dots. It's asking the big questions. Who am I? What do I actually want? What matters to me? Does what I'm doing with my life actually make sense? These are not small questions. These are the questions that define everything. And we are running from them, full speed. Every time you get the faintest whisper of boredom, standing in a line, waiting for your coffee, riding the elevator up 3 floors, out comes the phone, scroll, tap, swipe, gone, boredom eliminated, default mode network suppressed. You feel better for about 4 seconds. Then you need another hit. That is not an accident. The apps you use are literally engineered to do exactly that. There are rooms full of brilliant engineers and behavioral psychologists whose entire job is to make sure you never put the phone down. They are studying your attention like it's a natural resource, because to them, it is. And the cost of all this, the real cost, isn't just distraction, it's meaning. It's the slow, creeping absence of knowing why you're here and what you're doing, and whether any of it actually matters to you. Depression rates are up. Anxiety rates are up. People report feeling hollow, restless, purposeless, even when their lives on paper look completely fine. Why? Because they've outsourced every quiet moment to a device. They've never sat still long enough to figure out what they actually think. Let me give you a practical example. When was the last time you went for a walk, just a walk, without headphones, without a podcast telling you how to optimize your morning routine, without a playlist curated to match your mood? Just you, the street, your thoughts. If you're like most people, you cannot remember. Or if you try it, it lasts about 4 minutes before you reach for your phone because your brain starts to feel uncomfortable. That discomfort, that's not a problem. That's the beginning of something. Don't run from it. The most creative people in history, writers, scientists, philosophers, they didn't have infinite stimulation available to them. They had long stretches of nothing. And in that nothing, ideas formed, insights surfaced, clarity arrived. You have that same brain, you've just never given it the silence it needs to do its job. Here's the good news. Boredom is a skill, and like any skill, you can get better at it. Right now, most people are terrible at it because they've spent years training themselves in the opposite direction. But you can rebuild this. Start small. Tomorrow morning, don't look at your phone for the first 20 minutes after you wake up. Just sit there, make your coffee. Let your brain do whatever it does. It'll feel weird. Do it anyway. Try commuting in silence, even just part of it. No podcast, no music, no audiobook, just the road, the train, the street. Let your mind wander. Eat one meal a week without a screen in front of you, just you, your food, your thoughts. See what happens. These aren't massive sacrifices, they're tiny windows. But those tiny windows add up, and over time, something shifts. You stop feeling like you need to be constantly entertained to feel okay. You start actually thinking again, not just consuming. And here's what you'll notice. Ironically, the more comfortable you get with boredom, the less bored you'll feel with your actual life. Your relationships will feel more interesting. Your work will feel more engaging. The ordinary stuff, a conversation, a meal, a walk, starts to have texture again. That's not magic. That's just what happens when your brain finally has the space to process and appreciate what's already in front of you, instead of constantly chasing the next hit of novelty. And more than that, you'll start to get answers to the big questions. What do you actually want your life to look like? What are you ignoring that you need to pay attention to? What would you pursue if you stopped numbing yourself long enough to feel what you actually feel? These answers don't come from podcasts. They don't come from scroll sessions at midnight. They come from silence, from boredom, from sitting still long enough to hear yourself think. So here's my prescription. And yes, I take my own medicine. No phone for the first 20 minutes of your day, not as a rule, as a practice. No devices during meals, one walk a week with no headphones, one commute a week in silence, and when boredom shows up, when that restless, uncomfortable feeling creeps in, don't reach for your phone, sit in it, give it 60 seconds, see what surfaces. You will not miss anything important. The news will still be there. The tweets will still be there. Your emails will still be there. But the version of you that actually knows what you think, what you believe, what you want, that version only shows up in the quiet. And that version, that's the one worth meeting. Put down the phone, be bored. Your life might depend on it.